Hello, beautiful Virgo family, and welcome to August 2020, this magical doorway where we shift through Leo season and into Virgo season. So happy birthday to all the August Virgos out there. I think my first best friend that I ever had when I was 1, 2, 3 years old was a Virgo. He was my god brother. We spent all our time together, and he was an August Virgo. So not only do I have that deep connection with you all, but of course also I have a Virgo moon. So it's a real privilege and an honor to sit with this part of myself and part of my family and part of my heart, and to tap in to August's energy. Now, this is what I will say about August as we tap into it and start working through it. When you think about the last few months, there have been a lot of retrogrades, there have been a lot of eclipses, there's been a lot of really big kind of shake-up shifts, including things like Saturn going back to Capricorn, and a Venus retrograde happening, and the north node of the moon moving into Gemini. So all these things have continued to kind of majorly shift what we're working on for the next little while and how we're doing it. So August is kind of a breath in a way. It's very determined energy, it's very crisp energy, it's very clear energy, it's very illuminating energy, but it isn't about these gigantic shifts that kind of suddenly change the flavor of everything and we're having to peel back a skin. It's a lot more about embodying where we are now and getting used to working with new lenses and new ways of seeing. And for you all, a really clear message came up. This is a deeply spiritual month. The few weeks until we get to August 22nd and we are in Virgo season and the sun has shifted there, we're working in your 12th house of the spiritual guidance system, the behind the scenes, the ascended self, the self that understands how things work as energy, right? Energy and emotion and feelings are some emotive empowerment, not just the external signals. So this month is going to be giving you a ton of that kind of wisdom, 12th house wisdom. And the last part of this year, as we get ready for your birthday season and as we move into September, and then even as we move on to December, so the last part of this month, a big theme that we're going to start noticing here in August, and for you specifically, is that you are really going to have to go inside to get the best empowerment, the best hits of energy, the best knowledge. The outside signs and symbols aren't going to be helpful to you so much. So, when you maybe are praying, give me a sign, help me to see, help me to know that I'm going to be cared for or given, I would suggest that starting in August, start welcoming in help. Just welcoming in the feeling of being surrounded and held, and welcome in the feeling of already being where you want to be and not looking so much for the external signs, because the energy is really asking for you to go deep on this other aspect. So let me start shuffling and I will tell you why August is a little bit more forward focused and why some of these messages have come through for me for you Virgos out there. So we start the month off, we're obviously in Leo season, like I said, 12th house energy, really strong all the way up till the 22nd when we move into Virgo season. We start off this month on August 3rd with a full moon in Aquarius. And now this is in your 6th house. So how are you feeling in your body? Are you feeling healthily embodied? You may be noticing that this full moon is just asking you to adjust, connect back in with what you want your routine and your connection to your physical, the connection to being in this world, what you want that to feel and look like. Mercury moves into Leo, your ruling planet moves into Leo on August 5th. So 12th house energy right here, communication, understanding, clicking mentally with any spiritual messages that want to come through. Mercury moving through Leo will be very helpful for you Virgos if you're needing more of that spiritual connection. Venus moves into Cancer on August 7th. Oh, Venus in Cancer, this is such loving, nurturing energy. This has everything to do with, your friendships, your communities, really giving a boost to that. Four of Pentacles. All right, there is that message I was getting about you all needing to listen internally instead of looking for external signals to give you the okay in life, to give you the okay. As I'm saying this, a really loud ambulance alarm is going by, external signals, right? So yeah, Venus in Cancer, super nurturing energy moving through, starting on August 7th. Queen of Pentacles, hey, feeling good. Lots of that earthy, grounded connectedness, right? I love that. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Okay, center of this month, Uranus goes retrograde to join a lot of the outer planets in their retrogrades as well, to complete this. And Uranus is going to be retrograde until January 1st, 2021. It's kind of a subtle thing. We're integrating what we've been learning with Taurus, with Uranus and Taurus moving forward. We're learning what we've been needing to learn from this last 6 or so months, 7 months of Uranus's forward motion in Taurus. So this is going to be powerful. And we have a new moon in Leo on August 18th/19th. And then Mercury joins you all on the 20th, and then the Sun joins you all. So this is a powerful month, just to, like I said, in much more supportive transits, quite honestly. Generally speaking, the transits this month are very Hierophant, all right, are very much about connecting things in, making things clear, making things feel a lot stronger and a lot more empowered. You know, we've learned some really deep things. There's been a lot of shaking. There's been a lot of trembling in the earth and in ourselves. And we've had to master some new skills. So in August, there is this sense of understanding of, okay, things are starting to click. And I'm really looking forward to that. There's a final note I just want to say with transits and all of this before we get into the King of Swords. I'm going to pull one more card. We're going to pull 5 cards this month. And 4 of Swords. Okay. One more note before we begin talking about the cards here. And that is this. Mars is getting ready to do a retrograde. On September 9th, I believe Mars will be stationing retrograde. All of August, Mars is going to be in pre-shadow phase of this retrograde in Aries. Especially if you're Virgo rising, but even if you're a sun or a moon, or you have a lot of energy in Virgo, Mars in Aries is hitting into 8th house energy. It's hitting into transformational energy for Virgos. And this means that this is a culminating time for you to heal, interact, and shed a skin. And this is starting in August behind the scenes of everything else that's going on. And it's something to keep in mind. We will talk about it a lot more in September when Mars actually goes retrograde. But just keep in mind that behind the scenes, Mars is starting to do a review period. Mars is starting to do a big review period. He hasn't been retrograde since late 2018, I believe. So it's been a couple of years. He doesn't retrograde very often. He only retrogrades every couple of years about. So we're coming back to some deep lessons and closing something out, and it's an important time for you all. Wow, there is so much noise. I'm trying to talk to you all today. London is awake today. Okay, so this is really interesting with you all. Remember how I was saying that the best information you're going to get this month, really, even when we're in Virgo season, is going to be coming from behind the scenes. Now, I think that's kind of always true in our lives. You know, we're spiritual beings, we're energetic beings. So however we're connecting with our internal process, it's going to affect, you know, how we can move through the world. But sometimes that logic is extra strong, extra loud. And I think this month is just one of those, because the first and the last card we have are these 4s. Now, 4 in tarot is a really important point in the journey. 4 is a number of rounding out, of completion, of connectivity. It's like the connective tissue that we feel through, myofascial connectivity that we feel through when we're learning something deep, and we need a moment to hear it fully, To hear it not from the external, not from the quick moving external, but from the deep internal knowing. And I actually really love these cards because they're that innate breath in the process of life, right? It is the long exhale that we take to feel at rest, to feel at peace, to feel that we are understanding something deep. And often when you're seeing these cards, it's because you're preparing. And I am always cautious, using the word preparing, because we can spend our whole lives preparing, right? And never feel like we're there. And we can get a little obsessed with, well, I just need to prepare a little bit more, and I'm not ready yet, and I'm going to prepare a little bit more. And I think I'm thinking about this in terms of empowered preparation, which means, really listening in, really lining things up, really taking the time to hear what's coming in, right? Not just kind of vaguely floating around, but really purposefully preparing. That is what I'm seeing here with these cards. Now, the central figures, we've got some big players coming in here between these two rest cards, because we've got Queen of Pentacles, Hierophant, and King of Swords. Now, these are highly empowered energies, right? These are energies of self-value, self-worth, and taking their seat at the table, and each in a very different way. We start with Queen of Pentacles, which I love. I think it's birthday season for Virgos coming up here for a little while. We have until later September, right, for the initiation of a new solar year for any Virgos out there who were born, during Virgo season, Virgo suns. And Queen of Pentacles to me is that nourishing, nurturing, just knowing from within, knowing in your bones, knowing in the way you move through the world that you are on your own path and you really value it and you're really empowered by it, right? This is very juicy goodness, owning of self. And it's not loud, this is kind of like the owning of self that you do, that isn't seen by others necessarily all the time, that isn't about others. This is about the self-love that you have that is just for you. When you're in your own process, the why you create for who you are, why you share, why you're in this world, right? Why you feel good in your skin and your bones, why you feel good in your soul. She's also such a deep listener. Queen of Pentacles hears from that deep, bone deep place. She lets her soul speak to her before she takes action. She lets her soul be the one that nourishes her moving forward. And that is the place from which I want you to be taking action. Anything that unfolds in the coming months has to come from this deep-seated place of taking time to be quiet before taking action. Now, Hierophant and King of Swords are very much about the external, right? This is about you sharing whatever's going on with this internal energy, putting it outward. Now, you may have some energies around you like this. Hierophant is deeply associated with Taurus, and King of Swords is very deeply associated with Libran energy and air sign energy in general. These are powerful energies. They are communicators. They are teachers. They are wise. They want justice and they want clarity and they want to use their voices to get something across, to get something understood. They are very communicative. And there's something here, Virgo, about you opening up again. And I think as we hit into Virgo season, and as we hit into this next wave of energy, which you can start feeling in August, feels very different than what we've been feeling since about March. August has a completely different feel than what we've been learning March through July. And this is a reopening to taking your voice, your embodiment back out into the world. And this is also about getting really clear, good answers. Things that maybe have felt murky, like they've been hanging over you, or like you haven't known how to engage with them. And they've just been kind of hanging out there in the background, are coming to greater clarity at this time. So there's a really simple message in many ways coming through for Virgos this month. the first 3 weeks of this month have a feeling of that deep listening, that deep nurturing, looking for the signals from within and really honoring that, really looking for those signals from within. As the month elapses though, and as we have energy starting to move into Virgo, there's going to be an opening. There's going to be a sense of clarity, firming up on understanding where you have grown, firming up on understanding how it is you are about to blossom and move forward. Firm clarity coming through for you here. But I think that can only come if you get into the practice, daily, of 5 minutes of welcoming in signals from inside, right? Don't be looking first from outside, because it won't yield you the same results. I will just say that very clearly right now. It's so important to remember that, you can be praying, for something to come about, a job or a relationship or a knowing about something, and be praying, please give me signs. And so you ask for the signs, and you may even get them. You may even get those synchronicities. You're walking down the street, synchronicity, synchronicity, synchronicity. However, if you haven't looked for the signals from within, those synchronicities, you'll always want more. It will never be enough to truly let you believe that you are connected in. You'll always be wanting more, and you'll be like, well, if I just got one more sign, then I'll believe it. If I just got one more boost from outside, then I'll believe it. And that's why, sometimes when we're doing that practice, it's not the quickest, easiest way to get back into mode with who we are. Now, you have a lot of empowered energy here, and just be aware that you're being asked to crack open and master your courage and your curiosity at even deeper levels right now. And you will be finding that energy just keeps amplifying over the next couple of months. So work with that. Understand that behind the scenes of that cracking open, there's also this deep transformational process pulling at you from underneath. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for August and everything it brings, and for the beautiful energy of Virgo season. It's one of my favorite times of year. And if you are interested in getting a lot more support and guidance, we're going to be doing some deep diving with Mars retrograde all the way through, which it's a 2-month retrograde. So we're going to be doing deep diving on Patreon for that, deep diving on all the moons, deep diving on Uranus integration. We're going to finish out this year strong over there, and it's a beautiful community of people. So if you'd like to get a little more support and a little bit more connected with me, I would love to see you over there. I will leave the link below. You can also find me on my Instagram, on my website, and I will leave all of those links below. And of course, you can find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. I wear her stuff every day. She's one of my best friends in the whole world. I will see you all for September, and more Virgo energy and the unraveling, the unpacking of what it is that this message that keeps coming through for me about you all is really bringing about. I'm sending you so much love.